What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. You see the thumbnail. It's not anybody else's fault. Just blame the Phantom Man. I was gonna use the old I think it's a DC character, the Phantom. People who know that's comic books, that was a while ago. They even made a movie with the Phantom. I think Brendan Fraser was the Phantom. But what basically goes on is you got people who are going through something and they've made a decision in life, and the decision didn't work out so well. But it's a Phantom Man that you got to blame. So I was listening to some videos and, relationship based, and they had the ladies in the room and everything, went to a guy, a phantom guy, just a guy that just, girl, what happened was this is when a man comes into your life and you don't want a man to, the reason I don't want to get into a relationship because if I get with a man's going to not let me do this and a man's going to make sure I don't do that and a man's going to hold me back and a man's going to smack me, he's going to kick me over the balcony at a 23-story hotel and a man's going to, take my car keys and drive my car to another state so I can't go to work and, so that's why I just don't want to be in a relationship. And then when I feel like it, I'll come back one day and a Phantom Man's going to show up and say, you ready now? And I'm going to go, yeah, I'm ready now, and I'm not going to understand when, I get to shoot the Phantom Man when it's negative and I go, come here, Phantom Man, when this ridiculous story works out in my head in my favor. I'm sitting there listening like, how dumb can people be? Like, literally, like, how dumb can people be? And I find it interesting because, when it comes to men back in the day used to do this. The men in the 60s used to beat their women. In the 60s and the 70s, they used to beat their women. And they were beating them, and they were elbowing them, and they were clotheslining them, and they was putting them in sleeper holes and figure four leg locks. And this is why this current generation of women, who weren't born in the 60s, who weren't grown women in the 60s or 70s, and weren't even born in the 60s or 70s, maybe not even born in the 80s, are so upset. And I can't believe that. And then they turn around and it's a Phantom Man. You remember the Phantom Man from the 60s and the 70s who took care of the family and he bought the house and he put people through college and everybody loved him and he didn't say nothing and he dealt with racism and he was a real man and he cared for his family, he protected and he provided. Wait a minute, that's the same time period. So you mean to tell me those two men can exist in the 60s and the 70s and you can make an argument for both of them, but those two men can't exist in the 2000s and 20s? No. It's the fact, because if he's a good guy like that, he really doesn't exist in 2020s because the Phantom Men, because he was on the side where the men were beating the women and clotheslining them, and they abandoned the family, so he's like a third generation abandoner. Because he's a phantom abandoner. That was the generational curse, was family abandonment. It's like, okay, that's what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Okay. All right, I hear you. So then, now, but there's also this Phantom Man that's gonna come save the day, He's a high value man that I deserve for not liking men for 10 years. This Phantom high value man gonna come and say, hey baby, like, I know you didn't like men and yesterday you decided you like us again. And I've been sitting here, with my 6 figures waiting on you. I've been waiting patiently for a track to explode on. If you stun if you want and your ass get rolled on. Feels like my flow's been hiding for so long. If you think that I'm a effing fall off, you're so wrong. 50 Cent Eminem reference. Don't worry, it was a dope song. But some phantom guys just gonna come through. Gotcha. Like, no. So it becomes a problem because during the period where you making bad decisions, it's not your fault. It's the phantom man's fault. The reason why you didn't choose this guy was because of the phantom man. The reason why you chose that you were open to guys is because of the phantom man. The reason why you're dating women is because of a phantom man. So it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because at the end of the day, the reason why your relationships were toxic was because of a phantom man. Like, nothing was your fault. It was never your fault. Never, ever, 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 ever your fault. So since it's not your fault, and he doesn't even have to be a real guy for it to be his fault, man, that's a hard, it's a hard act to follow. Maybe that's why you never find an actor. But anyway, I'm done. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.